Dwayne Johnson being named in a lawsuit filed by an ex-TNA wrestler, filed this herself. A lawyer didn't do this.
She herself has been on the El Paso most wanted list.
We have some people in the court systems selling our children, putting me in prison because I wouldn't give my baby to a rapist.
I invented a child robot. I eat children.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is on thin ice after a bogus kidnapping lawsuit filed against him led to some disappointing moments from his past that have been brought to light. Rumors claim The Rock is losing roles over this controversy, so let's get into it. There's no denying that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is a beloved actor, and today I'm not trying to convince you that you should hate him or anything, but I want to show a different side of The Rock, because after diving into some of his past, there's been a controversial lawsuit going on that I haven't really heard much about, and on top of that, there have been some moments in the past in entertainment where he's done some things that are just not okay. Let's start off by talking about this $3 billion, not million, $billion kidnapping lawsuit. Now, the reason why it's a $3 billion lawsuit is because there are a lot of people involved. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is just one of them. There are businesses, organizations, I think like Victoria's Secret's involved. We got Michael Jordan, the New York PD, there's a fraternity involved, and it's all about this massive conspiracy to kidnap a former pro wrestler named Trenesha Biggers, as well as her children. Trenesha previously wrestled for Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, a professional wrestling promotion company known as Impact Wrestling at the time of this publication. The court documents stated that Trenesha and her children were going to be representing themselves, which means they don't have a lawyer in this case. So off the bat, I'm like, hold on, why are there like 1,000 people involved here? Why don't you even have a lawyer? What's happening? Well, Trenesha claims that her ex-husband stalked her and her 2 children across state lines while he was on probation for family violence against her. The timeline stated that her ex-husband had the assistance of law enforcement in stalking her, ultimately abducting her and her 2 children from a New York domestic violence shelter. The timeline also stated that her children had remained kidnapped since 2019. So you're probably like, wait, hold up, how is The Rock involved here? You know, Dwayne Johnson is known for being a successful film actor. He's well known in his gripping action roles. He's also played humorous characters with ease and skill, with a natural gift for comedic timing. However, when headlines erupted about Trenesha's lawsuit, the star found himself in a serious controversy. Well, I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of ups and downs in this case because, you know, he was listed on a page with 23 other pages of people written down, and actually a lot of the defendants who were listed had a lot of misspellings. So the people who she were filing against, their names weren't even like correctly spelt, which is why you don't represent yourself. Keep in mind that Trenesha has her own history of mental health issues. There's a lot to unpack here. I mean, even Home Depot is listed as someone, so I feel like The Rock can't really answer to this because, like, really, how is he the one name that's really sticking out in the headlines? I mean, I feel like it's kind of doing him dirty.
Hi, I'm Scott Johnson, host of the Going Ringside podcast. Have you seen all of those articles out there about Dwayne Johnson and other guys like Michael Jordan and even dead wrestler Chris Benoit being named in a lawsuit filed by an ex-TNA wrestler? Well, no one seemed to pull up the lawsuit. I decided maybe I should. The woman, Trenesha Biggers, used to be a wrestler in TNA called Raka Khan, filed this herself. A lawyer didn't do this. It is handwritten off the top, and then she sues everyone. Beyond Johnson and Jordan and Benoit, who's been dead for 16 years, she sues the NWA, Universal Studios, Home Depot, Warner Brothers, Mark Jindrak, he used to be a wrestler, WWE, Lifetime, Tyra Banks, Yale, Harvard. It goes on and on.
I'm getting major red flags everywhere, and while I believe kidnapping is real and there may be a good chance that she was kidnapped, it's pretty hard to say that there were thousands of people involved. Like, maybe the NYPD didn't protect you. They would make sense. Home Depot, Victoria's Secret, The Rock Johnson, those ones aren't really adding up to me. The part of the lawsuit that mentions The Rock Johnson is pretty intense. According to Trenesha, she wrote that Dwayne Johnson and Danny Garcia hired men to evict her from her house in Tampa Bay and then drove her to a Miami hotel where she was physically and emotionally harmed. She also claims that other people tried to kidnap her and her family back in 2008. She does continue to say that when she was brought to Miami that she was harmed and received threats from The Rock and others. And she claims that he would threaten her if she did not fulfill his demands, which there's no history of these two ever overlapping in any way. There's no known connections. She's also suing a lot of people within the system, claiming that she was arrested at one point and had to appear at court, and it gave her ex-partner the chance to go and kidnap her children successfully. But I think at this point in the video, you guys know that there is some mental health issues going on here. I'm not here to diagnose, but I want to show you guys a clip of her outside in Texas protesting and chanting, and she's a very passionate person, clearly.
She herself has been on the El Paso Most Wanted list for not making it to court appearances.
These government officials are demon possessed. We don't want anyone telling us we can't make our own money and give us what they want to give us. Public service announcement, El Paso. We have some people in the court systems selling our children for $1. We have people in the 65th District Court. You're not putting me in prison because I wouldn't give my baby to a this was going to prove something. You haven't read the Bible. Do you know what happens when you put God's people in a jail cell?
Now, while I do agree with her, there are some corruptions out there. There's no denying that. It doesn't seem great looking at her history and that she was arrested, and that's when her, ex-partner stole the kids away, even though they did have some custody agreement at this point. I'm not trying to say that she hadn't gone through any trauma, but as far as filing a lawsuit, what can she really do? I mean, even to have this go through, she has to serve every single person, and then all of these people have to respond, and it's just way too many people to actually, get anything done. I mean, I feel like maybe suing her ex-partner would be the best choice, but it's not like I don't know if this is just to get clout because she's using all these people's names.
But what's interesting is that lawyers tell me for her to get this to go through, she would have to serve everyone listed here with the lawsuit. How exactly do you serve Michael Jordan or Dwayne Johnson? It's nearly impossible, particularly without a lawyer. But one thing about Johnson and all these other people making sure that they do have a defense in place if they were ever sued with a lawsuit, they can't ignore it if they are sued by someone, because then they could be legally liable if they don't respond. So they have to do their due diligence and respond. But I talked to some lawyers who say they never like to call lawsuits frivolous, but they weren't too bothered by calling this one frivolous or close to it.
Now, The Rock has responded to these allegations because they have become such big news. The Rock, along with his ex-wife and current business partner, Danny Garcia, joined forces to release a statement to the public. Through their lawyers, they made a brief statement concerning the vast kidnapping lawsuit. They said that they categorically deny any involvement in the alleged incident and that they look forward to clearing their names in court. And that's exactly what Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and everyone else did, because the judge just completely dismissed the case. Honestly, I don't even think it would have gone to the judge if the news hadn't gotten so big and these celebrities had to respond. But they found that the claims lacked sufficient evidence and credibility, leading to the dismissal of the entire case. Which is unfortunate, because if her ex-husband did do some of those terrible things to her, go get justice. But these guys, it's just a little bit I don't want to say delusional because I don't know the full case, but reading here, it seems like that way. Why would she think that he and all these other celebrities are involved? How did Home Depot and Victoria's Secret involved? I was waiting for her to explain how they would be a part of this. Now, there are some rumors that The Rock has lost some roles because of this news. I mean, if nothing's proved in court, I don't think that there's any reason why he should be losing any roles. But because of this bad news coming in, people are talking about him. They're talking about his past, and they found this one SNL clip that kind of went viral again recently. So I want to talk about it with you guys. A little bit of a trigger warning. This is about children being harmed, but it's a child harming robot. And a lot of people have mixed feelings about this skit. Dressed as mad scientists, the cast were tasked with creating the most evil invention in the world. The first offered a shrink ray, saying that the invention could make the Eiffel Tower small enough to fit on a keychain. The second was a freeze gun. The third was The Rock, who showed off his invention, a child robot that can harm twice the number of children as a human person in half the time. Of course, other scientists look in disgust, as that's The Rock's definition of evil. Let's go ahead and take a look at this skit together.
My name is Roy, and for the most evil invention in the world contest, I invented a child robot. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll speak up. It's a robot that is designed to children. And I call it Robo Chomo. And it can, theoretically, twice as many children as a human in, quite frankly, half the time.
You built a mechanical predator!
Yes. That's exactly right. This guy gets it. You get it.
Oh my god, no I don't! How do you even build a child molesting robot?
What you do is you start by building a regular robot, then you it and hope that it continues the cycle.
That is such an uncomfortable skit. Like, I just genuinely feel uncomfortable watching him, especially because he's got such a beloved reputation that just doesn't really fit his typical comedy. People were saying that jokes shouldn't be made of something like children being abused. Another person said, "What were you thinking with the robot child skit? Not funny. You can do better." Now, like I said, because of this kidnapping case, people are talking about this skit. So now we're getting super viral TikToks from people talking about the two, trying to formulate a story about The Rock, whether it is true or not. I don't think there's enough to really go off of it, but it is causing some damage.
So as you guys may know right now, Dwayne Johnson, The Miz, Maurice, and Nikki Bella has been involved in a kidnapping case. Okay, we done seen Dwayne Johnson on SNL saying this.
I invented a child robot. I call it Robo Chomo.
But the SNL skit isn't the only awkward moment, because there was one moment where he talks about eating children, which one, I don't think it's funny, it's a bad joke, but then two, when you hear about when you hear these conspiracy theorists talking about these crazy things, it doesn't help when these celebrities are low key admitting to what people are saying out there. How in any way would this joke be funny?
I eat children.
How
old are you?
12.
Oh, okay. Only to 10.
Okay,
that's good.
We are safe.
Yeah.
That's good.
Children and pineapple.
Something is not right. I'm telling you. In order for this woman to put out that statement.
It is so weird, not him saying up to 10 years old. He's a little bit too quick with answering that. But people wrote on Twitter about the SNL skit that child robots are not funny at all. This person wrote, "A child robot? Who the hell even thinks this is funny? Who wrote this? This is disgusting. I'm so confused about why The Rock would do that child robot skit on SNL. Hashtag disappointed." The SNL skit with The Rock and the evil child robot gets a thumbs down. Harming children isn't funny. SNL crossed the line here. Another person wrote, "Really, SNL? How on earth did that P-word robot sketch make it to air? Just gross and pointless. Disappointed in The Rock for doing it." Another tweet, "SNL makes a skit about a child robot. Why would it ever be funny to make jokes about something so serious?" This person wrote, "The robot skit was disgusting. You have children. You could have said no. No wonder I haven't watched SNL in years." And with all these tweets, people really got upset and questioned, as an actor going on SNL as a star guesting, you do have some leverage here. And I'm pretty sure if The Rock read this and was, grossed out by it, he could have said no, and he definitely would have had that choice. They would have moved on. They would have scrapped it.
Now, I get it, The Rock is obviously a comedian, he's just trying to be funny, but I don't find the whole child thing funny whatsoever, and if you understand what goes on behind closed doors in Hollywood, it's not a good joke. Users also brought up this photo of him and this little girl where he captioned it, "I bent down to tell her how much I love to eat little children, but she seemed totally unfazed."
Not The Rock with the eating children thing. Why is that more than once? That should have been something his publicist said, "Don't you ever, even if you're doing it, The Rock, don't you ever say that again." But I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. I think it's really interesting. Actually, I saw his daughter recently at the same place I just saw Mac Eric. I think I talked about that in another video, or Max Eric, Demi Lovato's ex-fiance, made a video about him. Saw him the same day at this liquor store. I was buying wine there, and I went another time in the past and The Rock came out with like a tequila or something, and his daughter was there at the store because they had all these like cutout things of him, and she was like taking pictures of them. So interesting how you just see all these people around in LA. But I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you in a new one soon. Bye, guys.